It's never a waste of time to make time for the truth. A moment spent listening and paying attention to the truth can change your life. So let's take a moment for the truth. Psalms 119:72 says, "The law of your mouth is better to me than thousands of gold and silver pieces." Priceless. You may have remembered some of the commercials that mentioned that. It was some time ago, but it went something like this. 2 tickets, $28. 2 hot dogs, 2 popcorns, and 2 sodas, $18. 1 autographed baseball, $45. Real conversation with your 11-year-old son, priceless. There are some things you can't buy. Now, individual prices on those items have certainly changed, but the principle hasn't. There are some things that are priceless. This is what the psalmist is saying in this verse. This is the last verse of this section of 8 verses. Now, if you remember, I mentioned that the theme of this section of verses concerns bearing witness to the Word of God and the God of that Word in the writer's life. He testified that the Lord treated him well in verse 65. He asked the Lord to teach him discernment and knowledge in verse 67. He confessed to him to having gone astray and become afflicted in verse 67. And then he confessed to the goodness of God in verse 68. He spoke of the affliction and the lies of arrogant men and how he learned from all of it in verses 69 through 71. And now in verse 72, he confessed the value of all of it. The writer begins the verse with the same word of the previous verse, good. And by repeating it, we get the meaning better. Here he says that the law from God's mouth is better than thousands of gold and silver pieces. What God provides is more valuable than what can be weighed out in monies or treasure. It reminds me of the psalmist and what he said in Psalms 84:10, where he says, "For a day in your courtyard is better than a thousand elsewhere. I would rather stand at the threshold of the house of my God than live in the tents of wickedness." The writer has learned, and he confesses, he bears witness to the only thing in his life that has true value. What liars and attackers could not take away has become for him priceless. What is priceless in your life? Anything you can hold in your hand or which you can possess can be taken from you. Fame, fortune, beauty, power, they're all passing and vaporous. But the Lord, who is eternal, surpasses all value. Have you learned and can you confess to know and understand what cannot be taken from you? Be strengthened by His Word. Give witness to the goodness of the Lord. It only takes a moment, but it will be a moment that will pricelessly matter. Thanks for watching and listening to Truth Matters Moment. Also, don't forget to look for our weekly podcast called Truth Matters. It comes out every Wednesday. Catch you later.